The government has been accused of betraying our children after they shelved plans to introduce a block on porn unless those viewing it can prove their age. Now, the long-delayed measure was first promised in 2015 will not be going ahead amid concerns over privacy. Now, the government insists their commitment to protecting kids online is unwavering, promising other measures will now be taken to achieve the same objectives. But do you think that they have betrayed our children, Stacey?
Yeah, I do. I think that when you're saying that privacy comes before protecting our children that can be subjected to material that I genuinely believe they're not ready for, might never be ready for, and can really seriously impact the way that they see sex and what it is about.
And relationships.
And relationships in general.
And also see things that can mentally scar them.
I just think it's horrendous, and I don't think it's about privacy at all. I think it's about money. I think if you put age restrictions on, less people are likely to go onto those websites, less people are likely to disclose who they are to prove that they're old enough, and they'll lose money. And I don't think it has anything to do with privacy. I actually feel really robbed that it's hard enough as a parent navigating how you're going to deal with those issues and how you're going to have those conversations, because I'm aware that it doesn't matter what you do, there will be children that will find it and then will show their friends, and sometimes it's out of your control, and you've got to try and manage that and deal with that side of it and have those conversations. If these sites aren't the slightest bit concerned or doing the smallest thing, which is having age restrictions and making sure they implement them to help us so that it's not as easily accessible as it is at the moment, but I feel like we're fighting a losing battle. There's no way of my children won't be.
And also as well, you know, there'll be a lot of poo-pooers saying, oh, for goodness sake, you know, what's a little bit of pornography? In my day, you know, I managed to get a magazine from the top shelf and it never did me any harm. And to those saying that, you're so misguided, because the kind of pornography that children are able to access literally with 2 swipes on their phone is not the kind of thing that is just a few ladies, you know, in their underwear or naked or what have you. We're talking incredibly graphic acts. We're talking abuse of women. It's so disgusting that we can't even mention it on air this morning. But it's the kind of thing that you wouldn't wish as an adult to view. Never mind, some children as young as 6 are accidentally stumbling across these, not just images, but movies as well. And for me, obviously, we are all parents here. I think the government has 100% let us all down by not letting this go ahead. There is no excuse.
There isn't really, because, I mean, we have laws surrounding tobacco, we have laws surrounding sex itself in terms of age of consent, we have laws surrounding alcohol and all sorts of things. And yes, people get round them, as you say, Stacey. Nobody's saying there's ever going to be an absolute fail-safe on it, but it's a declaration, isn't it, you know, on the part of a society to say, you know, we don't think this is appropriate for you, we're going to try and protect you. We do it with movies. We do it with everything. So why wouldn't you do it with this?
And it's not saying that pornography is wrong. Not at all. Between 2 consenting adults, get up to whatever you want to get up to within as long as it is legal and it is agreed and consensual. What we're saying is that children should not be seeing these because they're not developed enough to cope with it.
Kate, I think your point that, you know, it would really help parents, you know, with children our age, Stacey. I've got an 11-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter. Now, I know that I've got to have these conversations with them, but I really, honestly, I don't know where to start. So if there is something in law or, you know, that I can sort of refer to, that would really help me as a parent. But also schools. I think this has let schools down, because the schools have also got a responsibility to teach those children in an environment about sex education, about relationships. And so, yeah, I totally agree. But as a parent, I honestly don't know how to talk about it, don't know what words to use. I want to talk about it, but without scaring them.
The NSPCC have given some advice, actually, about talking to your children about pornography, feeling embarrassed. Acknowledge your child might feel embarrassed or worried about talking to you. Reassure them that it's OK to feel curious about sex and they can always talk to you. And this is one thing I've stressed with my children. Stress that online porn is not real. Explain that people in porn are acting, they're putting on a performance, things are exaggerated, the lines between consent, pleasure and violence are often blurred. Healthy relationships. It's important for your child to have an understanding that relationships they see in porn are very different, often not realistic compared to real healthy relationships, and also that not everyone watches porn. And explain to your child that while some people do, not everyone does, and it's not something they feel they have to do.
I feel like that is fantastic, and yes, we all should open up the broader conversation and try and be as open with our children as possible. But they're also teenagers or, you know, young adults who don't really struggle to communicate.
Do you know what? You take the words right out of my mouth,
Absolutely.
Stacey.
Because
I totally agree
I
with
feel
you.
that actually in these cases sometimes we do need help from the,
Yes,
the
we do.
wider picture,
Yeah.
from the bigger people, from the people that really could make a massive difference.
Yeah.
Porn doesn't bother me.
No.
If my friend wants to watch porn, or if like my partner, or if anyone, it doesn't bother me at all. What I'm bothered about is people getting access to porn and certain types of
Definite
porn,
porn, yeah.
at 11,
Yeah.
at 12, before they've even, you know.
And parents, so much is being put on parents, and absolutely I applaud that advice. It's really useful to hear that from the NSPCC. But once your kids get into teenage years, 13, 14, you don't have ultimate control over them. You're not with them 24/7, and you shouldn't be, because what you're trying to do is grow independent young adults who can make decisions for themselves. Now, when I was around that age, I was looking for, you know, scuddy magazines, as we called them. You know, they were around the school, you know, erotic novels, Jackie Collins, thank you, you taught me a lot, and all that kind of thing. But, you know, what was available to me was relatively tame.
Absolutely.
I didn't have a chat to my mum about pornography.
Yeah.
I had a great relationship with my mum, and I have a great relationship with my kids. My 17-year-old does not want to talk pornography with me, and I accept that. You can't get into every area of their lives. She does want to talk to me, fine, but I'm not going to sit down and say, right, come on now, Charlie.
But that's where I feel that the government has let us down. Because if this block
100%.
was put in place, then yes, of course, some people would be able to access it, but the percentage would be so much less than it is now.
And let's not forget, the money involved in this is
Massive.
unbelievable.
That is what it comes
Companies
down
who
to.
do not care about our children are making mega millions out of them.
Absolutely.